Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another Monday morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. You know, it's funny. I've been sitting here thinking about today and the different things that I've done over the last year with the podcast and all the episodes I put out there. This is going to be episode number 70. And looking back, one of my employees, Fred Santor, was on episode number 5. And I thought, you know what? It's been over a year. Let's have him back on here and see what's changed in his journey over the last year. And Fred, I'm happy to have you on here.
Thank you.
Been a little over a year. I know you've done some other podcasts. You were actually on the Dr. Drew show at one point too.
Yes, sir, I was.
So what's changed in the last year for you as far as your journey, your sobriety, what you're going through? What's new with Fred?
It's quite a lot that's new. Like you said, I've been a year since I was on this show. I've got my own apartment now. I've moved into the warehouse from the field. I'm now paying bills. And next month I'll be out for 3 years, and I'm really starting to live a life of a regular person compared to all the years I'd lived the way I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I pay my electric bill, I pay my water bill, the phone and cable, all that stuff. And it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but to me it is, because I never really done that.
It's new for you.
Yeah, it's real new. I mean, I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie about it. It's a little rough, but I mean, it's just things people do every day. And for me, it's a big change in my life. But I enjoy it. You know, it's like this is probably the longest I've been employed at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just means a lot to me and my girl, because we're taking care of ourselves now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have problems, we can fix them because we have a paycheck. Before, something would break and it wasn't an easy fix. Now I just go to the bank, get whatever I need to get fixed, and we do it. It's not always easy, but it's the right thing, and it's a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really what it is. It's just nice knowing that I come to work every day. I get up in the morning, I show up here every day, and I get paid every Friday. And that's a joyful thing, really.
Yeah. And you're the first one here every morning, aren't you now?
Yeah, 4:00 every morning I show up. No, actually, Chad Underwood is.
No, he beat you here?
Yeah, a little bastard gets here like at 3:45 every day. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, but it's been an experience. Starting at a painter, working up to a lead painter, and then with my knee problems, I came into the warehouse.
Yeah, you're a warehouse manager now.
Yeah, and it's nice. I do a lot of different things. I do whatever I need to do, really. I've been kind of watching a few jobs. That's a learning experience for me, because I feel that I'm missing some stuff that I should be seeing that I'm not, but it'll come. I just got to I can't let myself get beat up over the little mistakes I make. I just got to remember, okay, now do it on the next one. Look for this on the next one, because we're doing residentials. And there's a lot of more little things to do than there is in commercial.
It's more detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing we've changed this year is we're taking on more residential work than we used to. We shut it down a few years ago. And when it comes to residential, it's takes a better eye for detail. You got to look for all the mistakes, all the issues. Yeah. I just walked a house this morning with a homeowner. And unfortunately, it's a very large house. I mean, it's a very large exterior repaint, and I'm going to have to send somebody back there after doing the walkthrough with 5 gallons of paint in about 4 to 5 hours to do all the touch-ups. And that was a little disappointing, and it's not putting that on your plate. I mean, it's a combination. We had multiple people on the job, and it comes down to, we had a working superintendent who was the last one there, and it should have been done right. Unfortunately it wasn't. So we got to go back on that. And homeowners are a little bit more pickier than it is with the commercial world.
Yeah.
But, looking back at your employee file, it's funny. We moved you into the warehouse last summer in August. At the end of the summer is what we did. So
it's almost been a year in the warehouse.
It'll be a year come August that you've been in the warehouse. So no, you've done a really good job for us. I'm really proud of you. Watching you move out of the halfway house and you and your girl move into the apartment. Was it scary for you? I mean, doing that, or what were you nervous?
It was scary. It was just nervous of getting everything lined out to pay the bills on time. Because you got to pay the rent, and then you got the electric bill. Then I got my Wi-Fi and cable. So they're not all at one time, so it makes it nice. one's 1 week, the next week, and the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not bad. It's just I set, I think, a little too high standard that I would never be late with my bills, and sometimes it don't work like that. I've been late in my rent only a couple of days, but I let the people know, and they're okay with it. I just told them it could be late, but I'm going to pay you.
But you're setting goals for yourself. You're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah,
and you're doing things you've never done before in your life, aren't you?
I never paid bills. I lived wherever I wanted to live, and I didn't pay no bills for nowhere.
You pretty much lived on your motorcycle, didn't you?
Yeah, motorcycle. I always had people's houses to stay at. As long as you had a sack of dope, you could stay anywhere you wanted.
Yeah, but that's not who you are anymore.
No, hell no. I got 5.5 years sober.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I don't do that old California sober shit. I don't smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't do anything. I don't even take pain medication. I just had some teeth pulled, and to rethink that, I probably should have took the pain medication because they hurt like hell. But I didn't do it. I just dealt with the night of not sleeping too good. I was late for work the next day, so that kind of made me rethink. Maybe the next teeth I get pulled, I'll just use the medication.
But, I think everybody going through that, I did the same thing in my sobriety. I remember there was a time where I wouldn't take Tylenol or Advil. I didn't want to take anything because I was scared that it's going to lead me back down that path of using again. So it's understandable. It does make sense. I'm really proud of the journey that you've been on and where you've come from. And I've been able to watch it personally. Now that you're in a position where you're more successful, you've got your own place, you're paying your own bills. Are you helping others come through the program or others come through our company? And how have you helped them or mentored them? I know we had one of our guys is drinking a little too much, and you were talking to him. And what are you doing to help others now that are coming through the doors?
I just listen to them. If they have problems, I tell them they could call me. And it's just, maybe you say one thing to somebody and it helps them through the day. That's a little help. I'm not a real big guy with all the programs, AA and NA and all that. If you're going to quit, you're going to quit. I don't need someone to hold my hand. And I try not to force things on other people when they ask me questions. I said, you know what? This is your choice. Either you're going to stop what you're doing and start acting right, or you're going to keep doing what you're doing till you're absolutely sick and tired of it. And sometimes that's what it takes. Some people aren't ready to quit. They want to stay 1 foot in kind of each world. And then I tried that for a while, and my wife will tell you it don't work.
Well, even with our company, I see where a lot of guys, marijuana is legal here in Arizona. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. It's just that's like you said, that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
You've either got to be all in or all out.
And that's the thing is, where I live at, they smoke pot 100 miles an hour all day long. We smell it in our house coming up from the sink and shit. But you know what? I was really surprised with, as long as I had smoked and it doesn't bother me. It just doesn't bother me. You have no interest in it. I have no interest in pot, no interest in speed, no interest in drinking. When I first started working, I thought every once in a while on a Friday, hey, I could have a beer. But then I thought, you know what? It doesn't work like that for me. I'll have one beer, and the next thing you know, it's a couple beers. The next thing you know, I'm drunk till Monday. And it's just, and then after that, it's all bad.
It's funny. I went through to the grocery store yesterday with my wife, and we were in there, and there's a soda, ginger beer, which I got. And I like the ginger beer, and it's basically soda. There's no beer in it. And the guy walking by me goes, "Oh, you need some vodka with that." I go, "What? Why?" "Well, that's what you use that for." I go, "No, I drink it like a soda." And I go, "Plus, I'm allergic to alcohol." He goes, "Oh, I've never met anybody allergic to alcohol." And I said, "Well, yeah, because if I have one, my allergy is I got to have another, and I don't know when to stop."
Yeah.
And so
you know what you can do and you can't do. And I think some people just don't have that
self-control, maybe.
It's self-control. They just don't have that look on themselves. They don't think it's a problem. Well, it is. I mean, that's the first step in saying you got a problem, is knowing you got a problem. I mean, I didn't think I had a problem. I had stopped using so much dope. I thought I was doing good, but I was still using.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that. You just either going to quit or you're going to stay using and stay in the same rut you're in.
Yeah. For me, when I quit, it's different for me. I look at it like you. I don't go to meetings. I don't feel a need for it. I'm hard headed and determined that I'm going to make this work. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to it. And for me, it's not that I quit this time. It's just I look at it that it's no longer part of my life. If I quit something, I can always start it up again. That's how I perceive it. And maybe that's not the right terminology for everybody, but for me, it works. And for me, it's like, this isn't part of my life, never will be again. So
that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. It works for me.
It doesn't have to work for this guy or this guy, as long as it works for you and you're comfortable in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I get up every morning and I can look at myself in the mirror and I don't have any questions about what I did yesterday or what I'm going to do today, or do I got to look out my door to make sure someone's out there looking for me because I've done something to somebody. I don't have that.
I bet between the two of us, we couldn't even come up with the amount of days that we could not remember what we did.
Oh,
it's too many, and it just, yeah.
I got years I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah, I look back and there's times like how did I get home?
Yeah,
I drove home. Are you kidding me? And then wondered, walking out the next day, is there any dents or dings in my truck? Did I hit anything? I just did not know.
Yeah, it's not it's like I said before, we thought we were having fun, but in reality, we weren't.
No.
I mean, we were living on the edge, and it's all bad now. You see the stuff on TV, people killing people in car accidents because they're drunk, or going up the wrong way in the freeway because they're drunk or high. It's just not good.
Yeah, Friday, me and Lori were going home. My wife works here with us, and we were going home, and the other side of the 303 was shut down, and it was a wrong way driver, and it killed somebody. You don't know. It's not like we have a date stamped on the bottom of our foot and we can look at when we're going to go or what's going to happen. We live life to the fullest. It's like, I want to live my life to the best ability that I can. And I want to know that at the end of the day, when I'm long gone, that I made a difference and I helped other people. And that's one thing I try to do with you and the other guys coming out of the New Freedom program. For me, it's exciting being back there teaching again.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, helping some of these men and women out. We're hiring more people out of the program now, which is a help. I know we've got a few on board that are doing really well.
Yeah.
The bottom line is you either want it or you don't. No one can force you to do this.
No,
shit.
They can give you the tools to do better. And if you want to do better, you're going to use those tools and you're going to do better. And this is the thing. If God forbid if something happened and you died today, you could die knowing you've done good things because you got us guys here, plus all the ones at New Freedom. Even the guys that don't work here anymore that are still doing good, you helped them out.
Oh, there's thousands. I couldn't even keep track.
And the ones that aren't doing good, you helped them out for a period of time and they chose not to be good. That's on them.
And hopefully those one day that when they do decide to eventually change, because they haven't hit that final rock bottom yet.
No.
Hopefully something that we taught them clicks and connects and they remember it. It helps them down the road.
Well, it should.
That's the only thing we can hope for.
Well, you can only get so many chances. I've had my share and I really didn't take them. I didn't want them. But this last time when I went to New Freedom, I said, this is, I'm either going to do this or it's all bad. And, I did it. And, I did it for myself, but I also did it for my girl because, she doesn't have no one out here. She doesn't have any family per se.
You are her family.
Yeah. Me and you guys here. And that's what she says.
Yeah.
She knows, like when her car tire went bad, you guys helped me get the tire. She was like, man. And even just the little things like being able to work on her car over here, that means a lot. It just saves me from going to my brother's because he does it all day long. I don't like to pester him about it, but it's just, she knows we can get stuff fixed.
Yeah. Plus, we helped you with some housewarming kits, I think, for the new apartment.
Yeah, you bought me a bed, hot stove, pots and pans, a knife set, the serving foods, coffee makers, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. No.
Well, you helped me get a place to live. I have given me a job. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But
when I look back at this journey with you, I didn't do it for you. I just showed you the way. You just the recipe's there. You have to decide whether you're going to follow it or not.
Yeah.
And
It is a recipe too.
It is. And I'm going to go back a ways because this story, I love telling a story when I meet people about one of my success stories, which is you, obviously, but you've done it for yourself. But I talk about the very first time when you met me in class and you walked up to me. What did you say to me when you first met me?
I told you you're full of shit.
Yes, you did. And what I tell you,
keep coming back.
Keep coming back. And here
you are. I am. I came back and I'm here now.
Yes. And look at how well you're doing.
And the thing is, from the first class to this day, you're the same person you were. Nothing has changed. And that just goes to show the quality of the person that you are, the quality of person that Greg is. You both are the same people. You're still helping. And even the people that screw up, you don't let it deter for the next people. That says a lot about a person's integrity, is because this guy made a bad mistake. Well, fuck, I'm not helping no one no more. Or we got robbed from this guy. I'm not helping no one. You guys aren't like that. You just keep pushing and keep helping. And it shows. There's probably 7 of us, maybe 8 of us left.
From the original
program.
Yeah.
And they're all still working here.
Yeah. And you're one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and it's an important thing for all 8 of us. Just not for me, or just not for John Warner or Timmy, or actually Timmy didn't even go to the program, but he got in here and he's one of the guys that's being held. You know, Isaiah, little Mike Nightingale, Joe, Larry. We all come together and
it's a family.
Do what we have to do. We might not get along all the time, but we all, when it push comes to shove, we're all pushing. And that's the big thing.
And we're pushing each other too at the same time.
Yeah. We don't want to see anybody fail.
Yeah.
And if you're having problems, we try to help. Sometimes they don't want the help. That's on them, but you got to at least offer. And it, for the most part, it works.
You know, we talk about all the ones we help, but what about the ones that we help that didn't make it? You talked about the ones that steal from us, or, you know, I can't even count the amount of guys that I've helped that have failed. That went back to the streets, back to drugs, back to prison, or the ones that are dead to this day. I mean, we had a guy a couple months ago come out of Department of Corrections, and we hired him, and I think 2 months later he died.
Steve Harper's buddy.
Yeah, you know. So I mean,
there's another one that he had all the opportunities.
Every opportunity. He
was given every opportunity and extra ones, and he chose not to take them. And now who knows what he's doing? You know, there's other guys that hopefully they're doing good, that were here, that just they didn't want to listen, or they thought they knew what they were doing, or you know, smoking weed or drinking or whatever the case is, and it involves getting in the way of their job.
You know, it's funny when I look back, when you told me I was full of shit, and I told you keep coming back, and I look back at writing the vocational book and the life skills and what I was teaching in those classes, and watching the difference in everybody. It is a recipe. If you follow that, it does work. And it's interesting how many guys think, well, I'll do this part, but I'm going to do this on my own. And I tell them, okay, but it's not going to work. It might work for a while, but it's not going to be as easy. It's going to be more difficult.
You're not going to get to the end of the program like you should.
I think some people want to cut corners to get to where they want to be, and it doesn't work that way.
You got to put the work in.
You have to. It just, nothing in life is going to be easy, and you can't expect this to be a handout. It's a hand up.
No,
you have to work for it.
I mean, I still put my clothes out every night. Now my girl makes my lunch. Okay. We live together, but I used to make my lunch every day when I got home from work.
For the next day?
But yeah, now she does it. I set my clothes out. I know what's going on. I'm up at the same time. I got a system now. I take my dogs out every morning at 3:30, and they're up waiting. They're by the door. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. If you're late, you're pissing in the house, you know, so you got to get up and go.
Yeah.
So I come here and I get things set up. I clean the buckets. We do the meetings, whatever it is. But it's pretty much the same thing every day.
You know, we got a kid in our class right now, and he went through the New Freedom program a couple years ago, came to work for us, ended up leaving, went back. He got locked up for 4 months. He just got out again. He had violated parole, and we won't say his name on here, but he's back in the class, and I'm hoping that I see another opportunity in him, that he pushes and grinds and does it again, you know. But I look at this as he knew what he had. He came out the same time that Mike Nightingale came out. So now Mike Nightingale's there helping teach the class. And this kid could have had the exact same opportunities as Mike Nightingale, but now he's 3 years behind again.
Yeah.
And it's just
playing catch up.
It is. And these guys think that, it's not unicorns and rainbows out there. It's going to be tough. You have to work for this.
Hell yeah.
It's not going to be easy. And everything we put in front of you, that whole curriculum that I wrote, it's like I said, it's a recipe, and it's based on my life and what's made me successful. But when you really look at that, it's all common sense. It's just simple common sense.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, the first or second time we was in class, you said common sense isn't so common anymore.
It's not.
And to be honest with you, I kind of was like, well, that's bullshit, but it is. There's not a lot of common sense anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't, I don't know what happened. They got dropped in their head or something.
I think you see it more now working for us as you see all the guys come through the door in and out.
Yeah. See them just, it's like the easy things that shouldn't be missed are missed. Mm-hmm. It's like they just they're here to get a paycheck and then not worry about stuff.
It's like they don't care almost.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was for a while there. It was for a while because we had a lot of problems.
Yeah. No, I think we've kind of cleaned house recently.
Yeah, we got a good crew now.
Got rid of a lot of the problems. I think one thing that helps right now is we kind of pulled away from hiring at New Freedom because we weren't there teaching for a while. And now that I'm back teaching, I think that's making the difference. They're getting to understand what our expectations are. They know the expectations of PHP. It's like you going through a class. You knew my expectations for me before you even came out of the program.
Yeah, Bill Turpin explained it real well to me, what was expected. And at that time, I was working with John Warner. Mm-hmm. He had just got done running 5 people off his crew, and it was just me and him. Mm-hmm. And me and him worked real well together. We did a lot of work, and then I was put in the position of being a lead, and then I was the out-of-town guy. And that was a lot of responsibility because at first I wasn't real sure about it just because I hadn't been painting long, but I was out of town. You can't really call up, hey, I need a little help here. Mm-hmm. You just got to figure it out.
And you had to learn some good lessons by going out of town and what you needed to do for accountability and helping others. And you had your buddy working for you and you kind of covered for him and realized that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Not to rub it in.
A lot. It cost me a lot of go back time that I shouldn't have had to go back. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You live and learn. Mm-hmm. And that's what Greg told me. He said he was waiting for me to call him and tell him. Mm-hmm. And when I finally did, he says, yeah, we've been seeing it, but we're just waiting to see if you were going to say something.
Yeah, we were watching you.
And I was. I knew I did something wrong. And I've always been that kind of person. I'd take the heat. I mean,
it's funny. Every person that comes through our door in our company, we watch them, we guide them, we try to teach them. We're basically leading them up to the next position. We want everybody to grow in the company. And it's funny because I have a plan for everybody in the company, whether you know it or not. Yeah. We're watching, we're waiting, and we give you the opportunities to either do well or fail. And I can't be there to hold your hand every single time. And you're going to fail once in a while. And the question is, when you do fail, how do you react to it? Do you ask for help? Do you hold yourself accountable for your failures? For me, I embrace failure. I learn from those mistakes.
It shows you a way not to do it, just like you said.
Yes, but how many guys out there will make a mistake and they don't tell anybody, or they brush it under the rug and hide it and don't let them know, and you're not doing yourself any good. And
no, because it's not fixed. It's still a mistake. It's still not right.
Yeah, and we see that all the time. It's like this residential I walked this morning, and I'm looking at all this with the homeowner, and I'm embarrassed. That's our company name on this house. And I've got a homeowner walking me around and he's pointing out thing after thing after thing. And it's like, some of this stuff was so simple. It should have been fixed the first time.
Yeah.
How could you miss this, especially with the amount of guys we had on that project? And why didn't someone walk at the final end and make sure we had everything? It's really disappointing to see that, but I don't see that in everybody. But what I do see is the guys that take accountability, the guys that embrace their failures and fix them, those crews are doing better because the people under them follow suit. They follow lead.
Yeah.
And it's the guys that move up in position that end up kind of cutting corners, or they get, for lack of better terms, lazy. They feel like, I've made it in this position. I'm done. You've never been that way.
No, you can't never be done because you learn something every day. If you're not learning something, and something's not right. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still learn. I ask a lot of questions still. I like to talk to Barry a lot, because Barry's got a lot of experience, and he's he's always willing to share with you. He's not like, I don't got time. He's always got a good thing to say. And they need more people like that. That are, a lot of the older heads that have been painting for a long time, they don't want to teach the new guys coming up. I don't know what they're scared of. It don't make really much sense because there's not going to be no more tradesmen after a while.
And that's in our company. We want to pass on that information.
Yeah,
we try to teach everybody. And that's a valid point there too. I think for every 50 people leaving the construction industry right now, there's only 2 or 3 replacing them. The younger generation does not want to go out to work. They don't want to do manual labor.
No. They can sit in there and steal money from the computer before they go out and work hard.
No, and that's why I think this program is so important to me too, not only just to help guys like yourself coming out of the system and getting back to work and knowing that they can make it, but also helping the industry as a whole in construction. I think that's making a difference.
It's pretty sad, the craftsmanship that you see on the jobs, especially like at the drywall trades. There's this shitty drywallers everywhere.
Oh, drywall's gotten worse over the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah, it's big time. And then it makes us look bad because the paint is horrible. And then they say, well, it's not the paint, it's the drywall. Look at the cracks. That's the drywall. That's because your guys didn't mud it, they didn't sand it.
But they always try and blame the painters first, don't they?
Yeah.
I've noticed that time and time again. It's everybody blames everybody else for the lack of their quality. And I think if everybody on a job site, every trade takes accountability for what they're doing, then the job comes out perfect.
Yeah, you don't have no trouble.
No, you have to be accountable for your own work and what you're doing. I want crispy lines when we're cutting in. If you can't work on it, become better. Always, it's funny. I can have a guy that's been painting for 20 years and a guy that's been painting for 5 years. And a guy that's been doing it for 5 years is better than a 20-year-old guy that's put in 20 years.
They get complacent.
The guy or they just don't care.
Experience he's always trying to get better so he can move up. That's how I took it. I tried to get people on my crew that were experienced painters, but I didn't have that many. But when I did, I listened to them.
Yeah.
Like Casey, I listened to Casey. I listened to George. They had experience and they knew what they were
painters.
Doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you learn from them, and that's the only way you're going to get better. It doesn't matter. I'm the boss of them. I still learn from them. I still ask them questions. I said, look, if you see me doing something that I could do better, say it. Don't just because I'm running the show, don't mean it's the end of the world. I listened to a lot of people, and that's how I got better at what I was doing.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get better.
Yeah.
Just because you're a lead doesn't mean your word's the end of it.
No, it's interesting as we watch these guys come and go, and the ones that do continue. We've got our core group like yourself that's been here, and I don't think you're ever going to go anywhere.
No,
you're going to. I don't know if it's you're stuck with me or I'm stuck with you, but
we're stuck together like two bad pennies. Yeah,
but no, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed. It's funny you mentioned earlier that I haven't changed since the day I met you or you met me.
No,
but yet I look at you and I think, man, you have changed so much since the day I met you, and it's all been for the better. It's all been growth. It's all been just everything in your life is constantly changing. You're constantly moving up. You're constantly taking care of yourself. I mean, you're staying healthy. You're going to the gym. You're eating right. You're working. You're paying your bills. I mean, it is exciting for me to see this change and this growth in you continue. It's also exciting for me to watch you when you do mentor the younger guys and the new guys coming through the door. You don't realize it, but I do watch you and I see you out there talking to them, and it does resonate with them. And I think you're doing a good job with them.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to help pass it along, because if I would have listened to the people 50 years ago that were telling me shit, I wouldn't be in this position. I've already had a job and been doing right. But back then, you don't want to listen to them. That's what I try to tell these guys. I'm just telling you what I went through. If you don't want to go through it, then maybe you should think about keeping a job and being employed.
Well, you can't change your past. You can't change it.
No.
But if you would have changed back then, where would you be at today? And that's what you're trying to give them the story of, to let them know, hey, dude, you're younger than me. Here's where you're at. You could be in my same shoes if you don't change.
Yeah.
I
should be retired, sitting at home, not working.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I retired when I was young. So now I'm going to work.
You're making up for it.
Good. Yeah, it's all good. It's I don't think I'd change everything I did because it's made me who the person I am today. I didn't think I was going to live this long, but here I am. So now I just do the best I can every day.
Yeah.
And not every day is a good day, you know, but you can't let it bother you.
Let me ask you a question. If you hadn't gone through New Freedom and the vocational program, where do you think you'd be today?
Running amok, back in prison.
Still in trouble.
Yeah, I would be no different. It just, there's no question about it.
What was it that clicked with you that made the change? I mean,
well, the thing is, when I got arrested, the cops, they knew me, so they know my neighborhood. They let me go by the house and drop my belt buckle, my belt, some money, and tell the old lady, look, he won't be coming home. So she came out, and the look on her face was like, oh, shit, you know, and it was like,
again,
and now she's by herself. So that's right then and there. I already felt like shit, and that made it worse. So that night, which was January 9th, I stopped using drugs. I went to jail, went to prison, did all the shit I could in prison for rehab programs, men in recovery, RSS, whatever I had to do. And then when New Freedom came along, I wrote letters to them and started writing them it was probably a 2.5 year deal I wrote with these people. Mm-hmm. And they said, we'll come get you and bring you here if you want to come. And I said, yeah, bet, let's do it. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. Mm-hmm. You know, I looked at my wife and I looked at her and it was like, now she's out there by herself, having to move all my shit around, keep all my friends from trying to steal my bikes by herself. That's not no way to act.
Yeah.
And she's not old. She's still 57, mm-hmm. but that's not that young.
And she believes in you now.
Yeah. She believes in me. She told me I'm a man of my word. Everything I do for her. Mm-hmm. I want her to have a good end of her life because she's had a rough life too, mm-hmm. you know, and it's better now. Now she sits at home. She does her hobby crafts. Mm-hmm. She likes to sew. She does all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
You know, and she's happy. That's all I care about, mm-hmm. is she's happy.
And that makes you happy.
It makes me happy because I treated her bad for way too many years. Mm-hmm. And now I treat her good.
You're lucky she put up with you, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. She put up with me for a long time.
Fred, if there's one thing you could say to anybody out there to make a difference, what advice would you give somebody that's maybe struggling on the streets, maybe locked up, listening to this? What's the one thing you can give them that would help them out?
Don't be scared to ask for help. You can't do everything by yourself, and it's never too late to start over. I didn't start over till I was 56 or 57 years old. So it's never too late, and don't feel that you don't have help. There's help out there. You just got to look for it. Don't be scared to ask somebody. You're on the streets, go to CBI, get it started. Go to New Freedom, get in a rehab program, and take it from there. Once you get in there, they have all kinds of help for you.
Yeah, there's a place for everybody out there. You just got to be willing to ask for it and look for it. That's what it comes down to.
That's all you got to do. You just got to be tired of what you're doing. You know, living on the streets, it's got to be horrible out here because it's so damn hot. No mm-hmm. food, you know. Just ask for some help and want it.
Yes.
Just don't ask for help because you think you need it. If you want it, you'll get it and you'll get better. That's all you can really do.
So what I would recommend to anybody out there, if you feel like you don't know where to turn, you don't know where to go, you know, Fred, I really appreciate you coming back on this podcast with me. It's been an honor watching you. But for those of you out there that need help, want help, if you don't know where to turn, reach out to us through whatever platform you're listening to our podcast. We will direct you and guide you in the right direction. We want you to get help. We want to show you that there is a better way to live. The men and women that I've had on this podcast that I bring on, like Fred, I mean, their story is true. It's real. They've been through it. I don't know how many times some of these men and women have hit rock bottom, and some of them are still waiting to hit that final rock bottom. It's time to pull yourself out of that hole and get back to work, get back into workforce, get back to your sobriety, whatever the case is, whatever you're dealing with out there. Reach out to us. We're going to guide you and direct you in the right direction. But this is the reason why I do this. The reason I do these podcasts, the reason I go into these places like New Freedom and help guys coming out of prison. Fred is a perfect example. He is the reason I do this. Someone that walked up to me the very first day he met me and told me I was full of shit. And I said, just keep coming back. You'll see. That's all it is. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking back to that. I mean, it's an honor to watch him grow and where he's come from and to see the journey that he's been on. And he's done it himself. All he did was show the way. And all I'm trying to do in this podcast and what we give you guys is show you the way how to be a better employee, a better member of society. This is a reason why I do this. He is a living example of what this is about. And once again, guys, I appreciate you staying here and listening to us and watching us on YouTube, wherever platform you're checking us out at. Once again, thank you. Stay hungry.
Thank you.